Lost World Minute, the Minute by Minute podcast. We're doing the 1997 sequel to Jurassic Park, one at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And today we're discussing minute 20 of Lost World. Dave, how you been?
Good. I was almost late for the show because I was helping my dad take down our pool.
Yep. Out ground pool? Or above ground pool?
It's an above ground.
Yep.
And he's paying me to take it down, so I was making sure that there wasn't any last rocks. Because we got a river rock lining around the edge of the bottom of where it was, so we had to rake those out.
Oh, very nice. Speaking of pools, we just had a shot released today. It's been going around social media. A scan from one of the original prop brochures from Jurassic Park, revealing the Safari Lodge interior.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's very. We got a 4-post bed with a sort of wooden frame over it, very safari looking. Some large floor-to-ceiling windows with I'm guessing like the tropical louvers, glass louvers in them. Or they might be called something else over there. So like glass blind, the glass windows open anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very high ceilings, looks like a thatched ceiling and ceiling fans.
Mm-hmm.
And some cane furniture, which I would have loved to have seen in this. Although I wonder if it's just because it looks like a real photo and not concept art.
Yeah.
I wonder if this has just been taken from another resort or something, because you got a view out the windows of the ocean and the beach, and it looks like a wharf or a jetty going out into the water. So I wonder if this is like something they've taken from like a Fiji or a coastal resort.
Well, I do know that there was a number of real life pictures of hotels and stuff like that from Spielberg's and the crew stay at Hawaii that they used in the brochure.
Yep. Yeah, so that's all it might be, but at least it sort of confirms that we do have a safari lodge or some sort of hotel on the island.
Well, there's also when Lex accesses the computer and when they're rebooting the system, you can see a couple of various folders in the Unix system that's labeled like Hammond's Bungalow, the hotel, and a couple others.
Yeah, and the only way you're seeing those is if you've got the screen caps for it, because it passes by very quickly on the film. But yeah, some nice little Easter eggs there. Mainly calling back to the novel, I always thought, but we've got those little tidbits, and now we've got a photo to go with it, which is just great. But that's about it for news and discussion this week. Let's get on in the minute.
All right.
As we entered the 19th minute of The Lost World, we had Kelly Malcolm walking down the trailers to reveal a map of the 5 deaths in Isla Sorna. And we then cut to a ship in the open ocean. As we start the 20th minute of The Lost World, we see a shot of a barge approaching Isla Sorna, the trailers and Mercedes AAVs strapped down on board. At 19 minutes and 13 seconds, we get a shot from behind the barge, and Isla Sorna is revealed, dark, mysterious. At 19 minutes and 27 seconds, we get our first shot of Malcolm on the island, shaking his head, not believing that he's actually here. At 19 minutes and 30 seconds, Eddie opens a case beside him and starts describing the Lindstrand air rifle. At 19 minutes and 35 seconds, Malcolm asks him if it works any better than his satellite phone. Eddie replies, "That's funny." Eddie then goes on to describe that he loaded the darts with the venom of the South Sea cone shell, and it's the fastest acting venom in the world. He then says that the animal will be down before it even hits the ground. At 19 minutes and 50 seconds, Malcolm asks Eddie if there's an antidote. Eddie replies, what if you shot yourself in the foot? Don't do that. You'll be dead before you even realise you had an accident. At 19 minutes and 58 seconds, we cut to arguing in Spanish and reveal Nick Van Owen and the ship's captain walking around the front of the trailers, continuing to argue in Spanish. And this ends the 20th minute of The Lost World. Alright, so we start with the... we go opening shot high up above the barge, and then it cuts down to a side view with the vehicles on board and approaching Sauna. I think we discussed it in an earlier minute that although 3 Mercedes AAVs are being worked on in Eddie's shed, only 2 of them are on the barge.
Mm-hmm.
And there does appear to be space there. I didn't think there'd be space for the third one, but it looks like a third one would fit on board, but then you wouldn't have room for the actors to do their thing in a minute.
Yeah.
You get a shot of it with the barge. I don't know what flag it's flying. I'm assuming it's the Costa Rican flag.
Yeah, I'd presume as well.
Yep. And I just love the shot. Like, you got the shot of the barge sailing by with the vehicles on it. The solar panels glistening on the roof of the trailer. I actually made a wooden model of that barge in high school, large enough to carry the. Well, I thought it was large enough to carry the toy of the mobile command center. I've still got it in the shed. I'll pull it out and take a photo of it for this minute.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
There's no detail to it. It's pretty basic, like a wooden toy, but just something cool back in the days, because this came out when I was in high school, and sort of as you're talking about in the previous minute with your photo classes and that, and doing something that you love. A lot of stuff during those late 90s was movies I'd seen, whether it was this sort of thing for The Lost World, or I remember in textiles we're doing like a tile press, sort of engraving a tile, and then using it to screen press images, and that was done just after I'd seen Twister.
Really?
And of course there was a lot of
I love them too.
yeah, there was a lot of Independence Day stuff as well, and some of those other movies that come out around the time. But even now you can open up some of me maths or English exercise books, and there's Site B, do not enter, and barbed wire and caution signs and all that sort of stuff doodled all over them, and DX, and it definitely had an influence on me. But we get our first looks here at Sauna, and I'd never noticed in before the mist actually blowing past the mountains. I thought it was more of a photo. Yes, we do see a bird flying away from some of the rocks, but you actually see the mist bellowing past some of the cliffs.
Yeah, that was always a great shot, I thought.
Yeah, dark and mysterious. And we get Eddie and Malcolm back, and we go into the somewhat comedic bit about the Lindstrad air rifle. Malcolm asking if it works better than the satellite phone, which is funny. I believe the Lindstrad air rifle is something made up for the novel that they brought over into the film, not actually a real company.
No, it was a fictional company, according to Wikipedia.
Yep. Okay. But we do get some of the lines from the novel. The venom in the tranquilizer gun's South Sea cone shell, which has the fastest neurotoxin in the world, acts quicker than the nerve induction velocity, and the animal's down before it even feels the prick of a dart. It's sort of a shame we don't get to see that happen later on.
Yeah.
But then again, we're sort of going into this film, and even with Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs aren't the enemy or the villain in these films, it's the people. So just going in and mowing down dinosaurs, even later when the hunters are running too, sort of no animals are hurt in the filming of this picture. So
Lindstrad air rifle fires a subsonic Fluger impact delivery dart.
Does it work any better than your satellite phone?
That's funny. I loaded it with the enhanced venom of Conus pepperacid, South Sea cone shell. Most powerful neurotoxin in the world acts within a 2,000th of a second, which is faster than the nerve conduction velocity. So the animal's down before it even feels the prick of the dart.
Is there an antidote?
What do you mean, like if you shot yourself in the foot? Don't do that. You'd be dead before you even realized you had an accident.
It's interesting they've only got one. Again, I wonder if that's supply issues. You'd think they'd all have one or something.
Well, in the novel, they had an air rifle, and then they had 2 air pistols.
Yeah, yep.
And Richard Levine loses one of them when he goes early. He loses one of the air pistols.
Yep. And the minute ends, we start to hear some Spanish arguing in the background, and then we cut to the front of the trailers, and Nick and the ship's captain appear, arguing at each other in Spanish. We don't know what that argument's about until the next minute.
Nope.
Like when we first seen the RVs, like you're saying that when we're discussing like what they were and that you're saying something about not knowing that it was a Fleetwood RV, or something. I was sort of scratching my head with that comment at the time, because a lot of the shots from here on out, whenever the actors are talking beside the trailers, you get a clear Fleetwood RV sticker on the RV behind them.
I was referring to like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I read that stuff.
Yeah, yep.
It was about the dinosaurs.
Yeah. And the promotional one, they put a big sticker on the windscreen as well for Fleetwood RV, and we see it here on the front of the RV. It's on the doors. It's on the side of it. I think it's actually on the inside of the space when Malcolm walks into it later. So for product placement, this is about as far as we got in the Lost World.
There's a couple, like there's Burger King on the side. There's the Burger King Whopper advertisement on the side of the bus in the San Diego sequence.
Oh yeah. Plus the big lucky 76 lotto ball as well. So
yeah. And of course, Mercedes is getting huge promotion. Got huge promotion from this movie.
Yes, which also got the Mercedes ad too, which come on the original VHS or DVD.
It was VHS.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they had DVD back then yet. I want to say it was VHS only at the time.
Yeah, I didn't get this. I had this on VHS first with the what do you call it? The card, the card insert, the hologram.
Holographic card.
Yeah, yep. And it was probably a year or two later when I actually got. It was my first DVD. It was a 2-pack with this and Jurassic Park, and it had all the bonus features on it, and that was excellent when that came along.
Yeah, there was the special edition release or something like that. Where they had all the extras. Jurassic Park. I remember Jurassic Park originally came out with a special edition too, but that was VHS only. You had the movie and then you had the special features.
Yeah, well,
no, it wasn't special edition. It was called Collector's Edition.
Well, that Jurassic Park special features that come in on a separate VHS. Yeah. And that's something I've never seen. I don't know if Star Wars or any other movie actually done that, have released a separate VHS with just the making of material on it.
Well, I remember Star Wars did it because I didn't have it, but I found copies of it on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. And
where it's in the grainy VHS quality.
Yeah, and assumably Star Wars being one of the big franchises, it'd have to have done it.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of interesting like that. Most of the behind-the-scenes stuff that was on that VHS was what got copied over on the DVD. There wasn't a lot of new stuff for Jurassic Park on there. Even the Lost World one, you can find it on YouTube now. The Jurassic Park podcast is doing a 4-part series on it, on their shows leading up to episode 100 as well, playing the audio. And it's not that long. It's probably half hour or so. That's more promotion for the film than actual backstory. Just a little bit of Spielberg going in, how he want it to look, how it feel, and just some of the actors sort of talking up their roles. It didn't lead much to the actual making of the film. More so some of the CGI and the Stegosaurus scene, and that we'll get to in a little bit.
I'll always remember the, I can't remember what start of, I want to say it was the E.T. special edition that came out that I bought on VHS. I can't remember if it was that or what commercial it was, but I'll always remember the commercial for the Lost World special edition and the Jurassic Park special edition combo pack that came out.
Yeah.
And it was like you either got 2 DVDs or you got 4 VHS tapes. And I remember always loving the idea of, oh my god, I mean, there's more to see about Jurassic Park out there?
Yeah. that was sort of like when I got my hands on the making of book as well. Like when I got my hands on that thing, and especially when I found out that there was one for the Lost World as well. Like I need to have another look through that. It's been a while since I've actually looked in it, but back in the day, man, that thing went with me everywhere.
Oh yeah, my local library had a copy of it in unfortunately the adult section, but I'd always sneak up there and grab it and rent it for like a week. And I think I rented it so much that pages started falling out of it. I think they actually had to just sell it off because it was in such a ragged condition.
Oh wow. Yeah, I discussed. I might have been in the introduction episode, but same thing. My school library had the making of Jurassic Park in there, and I'll just continuously have it hired and carried around my backpack. And like one day, like a top come off my bottle, or a bottle leaked to some bottle of water, and sort of completely water soaked most of the bottom half of the book, and managed to get most of it dried out. It didn't sort of affect the colours of the pages, but sort of just made them that water all wrinkled up, sort of. But eventually, because I was the only one that was renting it or hiring it before I left high school, they actually let me keep it. So
Nice.
Yeah, and it was only through would have been 8 or 9 years later, once eBay come along, that I was able to find the Lost World one. Yeah, great stuff. Especially too, it sort of gave us the first shots of a lot of that concept art. And there's a lot that sort of isn't in the books that we got our hands on now. With the we've been posting up the last couple of weeks of the RVs and the Mercedes vehicles. But, anyway, we've clearly moved on from this minute and started talking about memories again. Anything from this minute you want to bring up before we leave?
No, I think we're good.
Rightio, we'll get out of here and we'll talk to you all next time.
All right.
All right, guys. Let's get the hell out of here.
Contact details are on the website, thelostworldminute.com. You can email feedback to thelostworldminute@gmail.com, Facebook, The Lost World Minute, Twitter @thelostworldminute, and Instagram, The Lost World Minute.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, very easy to remember. Right. David, thank you for joining me for this record.
You're welcome.
And we'll be back. I've been Brad.
I'm Dave.
And we'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
It is absolutely imperative that we work with the Costa Rican Department of Biological Preserves to establish a set of rules for the preservation and isolation of that island. These creatures require our absence to survive, not our help. And if we could only step aside and trust in nature, life will find a way.
Okay, well, that's clear. Are we clear?
It's the 20th anniversary. We know it's not probably not going to happen, but is there anything from Universal would like to see in relation to The Lost World?
In the new movie?
No, just released. Released, like, we've just got the new score released, which was fantastic. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But it's sort of the only thing we've got from The Lost World in 20 years. Whether it's a release of some more behind the scenes stuff, a new behind the scenes documentary. Although I think most of the stuff that's already been released video wise is probably already out there. But just photos, like a lot of the set photos of the village and that at Universal.
Oh yeah.
Most of the post movie stuff is either stuff screen capped from sliders, or people that managed to get on the set afterwards after it's been de-dressed. All the foliage and that's gone. And
same. And that was actually immensely helpful for me when I made that worker village map.
Yeah. Yep. Well, just being able to see it during the day, also.
Yeah.
Just so much detail you don't really notice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like they went to so much detail on that set, all the mold on and even it definitely comes out when watching Sliders, sort of the front of the operations building, the glass, like pieces of glass missing, mold on the windows,
Yeah, flecks of mold all over the windows and all over the walls and all that stuff hanging from the rafters.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when, even later when we see, not Eddie, Nick go into the communication center and sort of just the yellow flicks of mold and sulfur on the power switchboard and that.
Oh yeah.
Like it looks so good.
It does. I mean, I love it, and they went so out of their way to do so much detail into that set, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And
especially because they ended up not even using it for the full scene that they intended to.
Yeah, but even like they're shooting at night, so a lot of that detail is never going to be seen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's no torches, no floodlights. You've only the set's pretty much illuminated by the operations building.
Well, that and a couple like balloon lights that they had hanging from the rafters.
Oh yeah, for filming wise. Yeah, filming wise, but as of Worker Village set, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no street lights, there's no big halogen lamps. Yeah. And it's sort of one thing I like about Jurassic Park 3 too, when we do get to the embryonics administration. Yes, okay, it's not the same building technically, but you do get to see a daytime shot in the reception area. Those posters on the wall, I'd love to know what they are.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. The
posters, and I would have loved to have seen more of the set, period, because you look at the behind-the-scenes pictures, and they did the same thing with the embryonics building as they did with the Worker Village, and they just went so out. They went all out on it, and you see so little of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sort of one of those funny things from Sliders too. They actually, in one episode, they go in underneath the boarding house into the lower level, and it's just sort of like it's clearly the inside of a set. It's not. Yeah. It's not dressed. It just.
Yeah. There's nothing in there. There's no top floor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we can talk a lot more about that when we get to the later minutes. I think we can bloat out those Worker Village minutes pretty far. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to rewatch those 4 episodes so I know what ones they are, so we can talk about them when we get there as well.
I've actually never seen the episodes. I've only ever seen the screen caps.
Okay, I've still got the episodes saved here. I can let you know what episodes they are. I can even I'll upload. I've got them on the computer. I'll upload them to the Google Drive so you can check them out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Yep. All right. Well, that's us done.
I figured out how the animals survive without lysine.
I don't care.